Okay, so I posted my 7 days of NoFap 10 days ago, which means that I hit 14 days 3 days ago, right? And I never made a video about it because I've been busy with some other things, right? I've been, the election's going on. I feel like I got a lot of homework, stuff like that. Only 2 more weeks until my school goes back home for Thanksgiving, so teachers are ramping up with a lot of work and finals and stuff like that. But in terms of NoFap, I feel like I have the first week is unlike the first week is a condensed version of the entire process, right? In the beginning, it's really hard, and then in the middle, you don't get a whole lot. And then by the end, you start to feel all of the effects through a longer basis, right? You feel extreme motivation, extreme energy. And that is what gets you through this, I don't know, from let's say 10th day until the 20th, 30th day. It's different for different people. This is referred to as the flat line. And different people have different points in their NoFap experience of trying to get to 30 days, 90 days, etc., where they might fall off, where they might fail, relapse, etc. For me, it is usually around 15th, 20th day, right? Where I'm at right now. And that's because you don't have all the benefits that you want and you start very highly craving other forms of dopamine. I feel like I've been just absolutely hogging YouTube, being on it a lot. I don't know why I said hogging, right? I've been intaking a lot of sugar. I've been trying to work out like too much, like to a point where I was so sore, like I couldn't walk for a little bit, which was really nice. But my point was is that some people fail during this because they're not getting all the benefits that they were used to, and they are really craving large amounts of dopamine, aka relapse. Once you get through this part, it's smooth sailing, and I feel like I've been having a lot less um, urges. I made a video, my worst video on this channel, how not to relapse. It's one of my best videos in my opinion. And in that video I talk about how I had an urge one night and how I dealt with it. And I've not had any urges in this circumstance since then. So I get most of my urges. The two main points were to first determine what gives you the most urges, right? Maybe that's the end of the day when you're going to bed. Maybe that's when you first wake up. Maybe that's when you use the bathroom. Maybe that's when you take a shower. I don't know. It's different for different people. The first step is to identify when you get the most urges. For me, that is when I'm in the shower, right? So what I did is I determined I'm having an urge right now, and I flipped the shower handle and I made it as very cold, and I did a full 180 degrees, and by the time 360 degrees, and by the time I was looking back at the wall, my urges were gone, right? So step one, identify your urge. Step two, figure out how to get rid of it. For me, cold gets rid of a lot of my urges for almost anything, for sugar, for um, masturbation, for, I don't know, cheap dopamine, for Instagram, for YouTube. Cold temperature. So if that means cold shower, if that means drinking cold water, if that means going on a quick walk outside, if that means opening my windows. Another one is movement, right? Maybe put on a song, dance, maybe do some push-ups, maybe go on a quick walk. If you physically, this is more of a last resort. I think it's most successful when you have started something and you have to get rid of it, that's where cold showers and going into a public space both help. Because if you walk outside your apartment, walk outside your house, walk outside your dorm, and you start walking around in a public sphere, first of all, you're moving and you're getting cold temperature depending on where you live. You're getting, out. You're starting to get very pleasant dopamine from the wind, from maybe animals, from sunlight, and you are also in a location where you cannot continue what you were doing previously, which puts a very strict stop to what you're doing, because now it's not only yourself telling you not to do it, but it's also the law. So one more thing for me is, now that I've lowered the temperature of my shower by like 30%, and I have not been getting urges in the shower. It's at lukewarm, and there are many of other benefits of taking cold or lukewarm showers. I think YouTubers that make that video are just making a total cop out, because a lot of those videos are like the same and it's copying whoever was before them. I feel like they watched like 10 other videos and then they just repeat the same points. And I'll probably do that when I'm bored and I want to put a video out. I don't know, man. I definitely have more willpower in the morning. It's far easier for me to say no, don't do this today, than it is later in the day. I feel like now that I've gotten rid of a lot of my urges from one method, not one method, what am I saying? One thing that gives me urges, now that I've gotten rid of that, I feel like I've been getting them more at night, more like when I'm tired and when I have less brain power and less common sense and less thought process, where I'm like, oh, it's tired and you did good and you treat yourself. And it's like, no, don't fall for it, right? If you've gone this far, you can do the rest. How to get through this? First, get rid of urges, but eventually it's not going to be the urges that get you. It's going to be the lack of motivation to continue. And this is the part of time when people Google, is masturbation really that bad? The lies of NoFap, right? They're looking for excuses on why not to continue, because it's hard, right? There's so many things that's really difficult to do, but are so good for us. Working out, eating healthy, studying, not jerking off, not doing drugs. But in the long term, it's good for us, and we know that. We know it's good for us, but we're looking for excuses because it's hard. So if you've gone this far, or even if you just started out, if you're doing No Nut November, it's November 6th? It's November 5th today. I'm going to post this tomorrow morning. So on the 6th, if you've made it this far, you can do it. Seriously. I've only gotten this far from reaching out on YouTube. I would not have made it this far, because when I was having a pretty substantial urge 2 nights ago, I literally thought to myself, I was like, man, I don't want to ever post a I relapse video on YouTube. I don't want to do that. If I were to, I would post a video, right? But I don't want to, because I know I'm better than that. And I need to prove that. I am better than that. And so are you. So, like always, if you need any help, any advice, comment. I'll respond. That's really it. Peace out, mate.